I'm Sam Barron. I'm the star and co-writer and producer of Useless.
I'm Ariel Heller. I co-wrote and directed Useless.
I'm Allie Brown. I star in Useless. I play Emma, Sam's wife.
She is a star. Em and I met at a film festival in 2018 at Austin Film Festival. Our shorts at the time screened in a block of films together, and during the Q&A, Sam's short, which is called The Orgy, about a sexually repressed man who shows up early to an orgy, was hands down the best film in the block, and nobody had any other questions for any other films other than his film, and I just stood next to him answering all these questions like really eloquently and articulately, thoughtfully, introspectively about a film called The Orgy, and I was just like, I love this man. And then after the screening in the lobby, he made a beeline for me and proceeded to like take all of his articulation, his thoughtfulness, his introspectiveness, and broke down my short and had like all the best questions in the world about it. And I was just like, I love you.
And we continued loving each other as friends for the best part of a decade, supporting each other through the ups and downs of trying to make it in the film industry. And finally, after truly about 8 or 9 years of knowing each other, I mean, okay, so what I can say is that Ariel and I are two sensitive, big-hearted, big-feeling soft boys who soft boys, yeah. And the film is at some level about, a guy who needs to grow up and who, for the lack of good guidance from society or whatever else about how to even feel his feelings and talk about his feelings, turns to, of all things, ChatGPT, because we don't have good pathways for, hey, I'm a man, I'm feeling some things, maybe I should go to therapy, maybe I should have real friends. So he talks to the machine, and in doing so, pays a big, swift, and humiliating price, but at the end of the movie, not to spoil it, there is a lesson learned, and he does end up in a healthier place as regards therapy by the end of the movie, which was very important to us.
And I want to say, I don't think he ended. I'm just thinking about this now. I don't think he ended up in a. He didn't have swift consequences because he expressed himself, and I think that's, you guys did that really beautifully, where you're not condemning in any capacity, like men expressing their true feelings in a really vulnerable, intense way. It's because you're able to maybe not criticize, but hold the way in which character Sam did it under a microscope, while also not being like, and that's why men should never say how they really feel. That's not the messaging at all.
I strongly disagree. I'm against men talking about their feelings.
The soft boy
Incorporates AI, and a year ago, it is interesting to look at it through. I think our goal was to talk about the technology in a way that could withstand the test of time, because things are rapidly shifting. Opinions and discourse, and the technology itself is, like ChatGPT now is, or Claude, as it feels like, is now taking the lead in a lot of ways, and our attitudes towards it, both like from an industry perspective and as like existentially, and what I found so exciting and why I wanted to do this, inspired very much by sort of the Duplass short film. I think it's called Hi, My Name is John, where it's just Mark, very like over 20 years ago, interacting with technology, which is an answering machine, just trying to record his outgoing message saying, hi, my name is John, leave, I can't get to the phone, leave a message. And he can't do it. And he has an existential breakdown. And as I was like, exposing myself to ChatGPT, and getting familiar with it, that's not the right way to say that. I said that wrong. But as I was getting acquainted with ChatGPT, it suddenly struck me that like, oh, we need an update of that short of man has existential crisis with ChatGPT. And I took that over breakfast concept to Sam, and we kicked around, 5 bad ideas. And at the end of our 90-minute breakfast on the sidewalk, he sort of sheepishly confesses to me that he has, in fact, input his entire life into Chat GPT with the notion that it's good with big data. So if he tells it everything about himself, it can be his friend, his confidant, his therapist, his collaborator. And I was like, excuse me? And he's like, yeah. And then he proceeds to tell me, I won't give it away because you should just watch the short, to tell me what happened as a result of his potentially overconfidence in the technology. And was that? Yeah. And when he told me that story, I was like, I'm so sorry that we need to do that. And we need to use the transcript and we need to cast ChatGPT to play itself. So I then asked Chat if it had ever acted in a film before. And it said, yes, I role play all the time to help develop story and character and themes because everybody is using it. We all know everyone's using it. I was like, no, I'm sorry. I mean, lights, camera, action. You're going to be cast in the film. You are going to play yourself on the voice function. Have you ever done that? And it said, oh, interesting. No. And I said, can you? And it said, yes. So we cast ChatGPT. We used the transcripts from Sam's actual conversations, and it played itself in the film. So Sam, the brave soul that he is, I don't know, you can talk about that. I guess, yeah, like that decision.
Well, so I've been using ChatGPT in my real life as a sort of pseudo therapist to try and figure myself out because it's good with big data. And so when Ariel said, "Oh, let's make a film about a guy doing that," the obvious and, in hindsight, potentially extremely exposing decision was made to use my real life ChatGPT account. So when you see ChatGPT in the movie performing as the therapist, referring to things, it is drawing on the real data I gave it. And at the time we were just shooting in Ariel's brother's house, it felt all very intimate and private, and there was no sense that it was ever going to be projected onto a giant cinema screen in Piccadilly Circus at Raindance Film Festival. But here we are. All my personal secrets exposed. So, roll up, come see the man get humiliated.
And so it's so exciting and amazing that Raindance has taken, the chance on this film to select it and screen it. I'm just so incredibly excited to be here.
I think what I would just add is that, what I love about Raindance is that it is a festival that is so renegade and kind of, outsidery in its essence. It really is a festival that encourages young filmmakers to just go out there and do it. And it's outside of the traditional system in a way that I find extremely exciting, creatively exciting, empowering. And this movie could not have been made in a more indie renegade way. It was true bootstraps, grassroots, buddies doing a thing. And within the space of 12 months, we've taken that from a micro budget short, shot and produced and everything in 10 days, to within 12 months a micro budget feature that we are now in post-production on, starring Ed Helms, Pamela Adlon, Christine Coe, and us, directed by Ariel. And it just feels like to be premiering Useless at Raindance, which is just so much at the heart of that ethos. Feels like the perfect way to draw this amazing year to a close and launch us into next year, which is going to be kind of wild.